It's Rebecca here. I had some time this afternoon to watch a few YouTube videos, and I was catching up on Katie's Fountain Pen Awakening channel, and she did a hashtag end of year pen tag for 2024 that I thought was a really interesting idea. Now, she got the idea from some book YouTubers and decided to run with it, using it for fountain pens and inks. And she's hoping that other people take the tag and run with it, so I thought I would. So thank you, Katie. I will leave a link to her channel and that video in the description of this video. So she had 11 questions about pens and inks that summarize a year of using, and I thought I would answer a few of them now. Actually, all of them. So the pen I used the most this year, over the year 2024, was not a single pen, but it is a single make and model of pen. And it's in here. This pen case is filled with a dozen Jinhao 82s. So this guy, called Milk Tea, is the only one I have left as it came. So the body is completely made of one material. I have not frankenpenned it. But all the others I bought in pairs or in groups of 4, and they're relatively inexpensive. You can get them as low as $5 and as expensive as about $9 Canadian. So I was buying a few at a time and playing with them. And you can see that most of them are in pairs except for this one. With this one, when I was taking the blue one apart to frankenpen with the periwinkle one, with the purple one, I cracked the end finial of the purple one. So I was taking the pen apart and wrecked it. So this is a pure blue body with a purple cap because the purple finial was ruined. So I ended up throwing out that part of the pen. So I just have a small frankenpen here. The rest are frankenpenned in pairs. So you can see this extremely pale blue bordering on white is frankenpenned with a pale spring green. And I've just had fun with them. So what I used them all for in 2024 was, well, I used 8 of them. I have a Some Lines a Day journal that I write in every night before bed. And every month I pick a new pen and ink combination and use it for the course of an entire month. If you heard that hissing, that's my cat and our puppy having a little play. You can hear a collar rattling, but they'll calm down soon enough. Either the dog will catch the cat and then the cat will teach the dog, or the dog will get bored and wander off. So yeah, I used 8 of these in my Some Lines a Day journal. Now the dog is having a drink. I used these pens, 8 of them at least, in my Some Lines a Day journal. So for 8 months, I wrote with a Jinhao 82. Just one of these. At the end of the year, I had a lot of Jinhao 82s to clean because I was lazy in cleaning my pens. Anyway, that's the answer to question number 1. The pen I used most in 2024. So the pen not used at all or rarely used is this guy. Notice that it's in the box. It's in the box because I realized it had been at least 2 years since I had inked up this pen, and I've decided to sell it. So I've put it on the market on Virtual Pen Show on Instagram. No bites yet, but we'll see. This is a Sailor 1911 large in the Royal Tangerine colorway. It has a 21 carat gold nib, and it is a broad nib. They're still fighting. It's not real fighting, it's play fighting. 21 karat gold nib in a broad, and it is a beautiful pen. It's just no longer for me. I'm moving away from cigar shaped pens, and I no longer like the pens that call out for single inks. I prefer pens I can use with lots of inks. So neutral pens or pens with lots of color variation. I like to match my pen and my inks. To that pen, I matched this particular ink, which is Kaio Flaming Red of Fushimi. Yes, Flaming Red of Fushimi. And it's a beautiful ink, but it is the only ink I feel I can put in this because of my own limitations. So yeah, the ink and the pen are going to go. Whoever buys the pen is getting the ink. Okay, so next up is the most recent pen purchase of 2024. So that would be this guy. This is a Kaigelu 316 in the mixed green colorway. So it's got these beautiful spring greens, this chatoyance, some see-through parts, translucent, I guess, because they're not transparent, not fully transparent, and white finials and white grip section. And I bought this because I had the option of getting a long knife nib grind with it, and I had heard good things about the long knife nib grind. So got the pen and inked it up immediately using a coordinating bright green, and the long knife nib does not show what I was expecting, which is thinner downstrokes and wider cross strokes. Sorry about the bumping of the table. The puppy is 91 pounds, so when she bangs into something, it shakes. So she's having fun under the table. So yeah, this is a Kaigelu 316 with a long knife nib grind. And I will admit to being a little disappointed in the nib grind. I was expecting more line variation. It's an interesting nib, don't get me wrong. It is an interesting nib to write with. It does not feel like a regular medium. It's based on a medium nib, not a broad or a fine. So it was originally a medium, but it has been ground down. And it's one of those ones where the line width varies a little based on your angle of writing. So if you write straight up and down, it's very fine. I'll show you that. But I find I cannot easily change my writing angle. And as you can see, it's not a whole lot of variation from what you see up here. There's not a lot of difference. So I'm a little disappointed by the grind, but I find the pen to be pretty and comfortable to write with. So I will continue to use it. So my most recent pen purchase was about 50-50. I like the pen a lot. I'm not in love with the nib. So that's my most recent pen purchase. A pen that isn't your vibe, but that you've grown to love is the next question. And over the course of the last month, in December, that would be this pen. This is a Franklin Christoph Model 451. This was an IPO, initial public offering pen. and actually says IPO right there. I don't know if you can see it or not, but it does say it right there. It's carved in, engraved into the pen. So Franklin Christoph is a long name to write. Christoph, model 451, IPO in black. Now, what about this pen is not my vibe? Well, for one thing, it's long. The clip is on the body. It's when I post, which I usually do post. So when I post, it's ridiculously long. So I tend not to post this one, but I prefer to post when I can. It's plain black. That is very much not my vibe. I don't own a single black ink. I don't like black inks. I don't want to write with black inks. And yet here I am writing with a black pen. I got this because it was an IPO on a model that interested me. This is based on a model 45 by Franklin Christoph, but it's long enough that you can put a standard international converter in it. So the model 45 was too short. It was a pocket pen, designed as a pocket pen. The model 45, you'll see one coming up. It's just too short for a converter. So you can either use short international cartridges in them, or you can eyedropper them. This was black, so I would not eyedropper it, but it is long enough for converter. Yeah, it wasn't my vibe to start out with, but the more I use it, the more I like it. The more I like it, it's because of this fantastic nib. This is a medium steel SIG nib. SIG stands for stub italic gradient. So it's somewhere between a stub nib and an italic nib, and it has good line variation, which you can see in the writing sample. Wide downstrokes, narrow cross strokes. Very nice little nib. I like it a lot. So my favorite pen and ink pairing this year, that's the next question, was this pen with this ink. So this is a very old ink from my collection. I started collecting in 2015. So this is Sailor Gentle ink in Pesh, and it goes perfectly. It's a perfect match with this pen. Now, I don't have it inked right now, but I will just dip it and write the name of it down here because I mispronounce it all the time. This is my Onishi Sesakusha celluloid Sakura. Sakura being the colorway of pink and white. So it's a celluloid pen with a steel nib. It's a medium nib that was ground and smoothed and tuned by Jack Hernandez. So the ink is Sailor Gentle Pesh. Now, Sailor Gentle line was replaced by the Sailor Shiki Ori line. I do not know if they reissued Pesh or Peach. I don't know. That would be worth looking up. I will eventually finish this bottle of ink and I will be sad because it is such a perfect pairing. They live together. I re-ink it regularly. I had it up and running in December and I re-inked it when I ran it dry because it's such a nice pairing. Next up is my favorite ink of 2024. And that one is easy. I only have a sample because bottles are hard to come by at the moment. But this is from the Diamine 2023 ink vent calendar, and the name of the ink is Masquerade. It was, yes, from 2023 ink vent, the purple ink vent, and it's called Masquerade. So it's a shimmering ink. The shimmer is gold. Its base color, I can speak, is a brown pink, kind of a muted mauve color, but very brown pink. And it dries with a lovely gold shimmer. It makes me very happy. And I have had this inked up in most recently in my Faber-Castell Hexo in the bronze colorway. It has a fine nib and it handled the shimmer ink extremely well. So it laid down shimmer with every word. I was really impressed. I've had a lot of bad experiences with shimmer inks in the past. This was my first good experience with a shimmer ink, and I'm going to repeat it. So I will be putting shimmer inks in that pen. I will be using Diamine shimmer inks until I slowly dip my toe into other shimmer inks. But yeah, this was a really good experience with a shimmer ink, and I appreciate it. So you can see there's a little bit of black forming around the edges of where it's still drying of the heavier pools. Beautiful brown pink color, and that gorgeous gold shimmer. I don't know if you can see it or not. It's a beautiful gold shimmer. So that's my favorite ink of 2024. So next, number 7 is what pen did I have with a great theme and or limited edition? That would have to be my Leonardo Momento Zero Grande 2.0 from the Galactica series. They released 3 pens in the Galactica series. One a dark purpley blue, one a kind of medium green to teal and white, and then this pink, orange, red, black, or dark purple, I'm not sure. Sparkly goodness. This is called the Nana Rosa. So it is a stunner, and because it is a Grande 2.0, it has that excellent ink window. So this is the Leonardo Momento Zero Grande 2.0 from the Galactica series. Galactica. I looked it up. Series, and this is the colorway Nana Rosa. I got it from Stilo and Stile in Italy, and they still have a few left. It is beautiful. The trim is rose gold. It is a steel nib coated with rose gold. It's a beautiful, beautiful pen, a fantastic writer, and as you probably know to expect from Leonardo pens, it has a fantastically smooth nib. So a very nice limited edition pen. That was a really nice addition to my pen collection in 2024. So the pen you are in love with is the next question. That is this guy. This is a Franklin Christoph Model 45. I did promise you would see another one. And this is an exclusive limited edition they did with Wonder Pens, which is a stationery store in Toronto in Canada. I am Canadian, so that's why I knew about it. And well, I pay attention to what Wonder Pens does. I get their newsletter. I like what they do. They introduced me to my first good fountain pens. And this one I got with a medium nib, but I swapped it out with a nib I bought from Franklin Christoph. This is an 18 karat gold medium stub by Mike Masayama. It's a very bouncy, soft stub, and it is delightful. Now, like I was talking about earlier, the pen body is too short for a converter, and I could put a small, short international cartridge in here, but I prefer to eyedropper this pen. It's clean at the moment, but it won't remain clean for long because I yearn to use this nib on a regular basis. I love this nib. It is fantastic. This pen just pleases me to no end. I like the flat finials. I like the small shape of it. I like that I have to post it and it posts so well. Yeah, I like the threads down right here instead of up here, and that they're small threads. Just everything about this pen pleases me. I love watching the ink slosh around when I have it inked. It makes me happy. Next up is the favorite pen accessory bought or made. Well, I didn't buy or make any pen accessories in 2024, so I'll refer to one I got in 2017, maybe 2018-ish. This is my Galen leather wooden pen and brush stand holder. So you'll see I have 1, 2, 3, 4 fountain pens in it at the moment and 1 ink sample. It holds 13 of whatever you want to put in it. And it does hold bigger pens like the Leonardo Momento Zero Grande 2.0. That's that guy. And the only pen I've thrown at it that it doesn't hold is a Pelican Twist. And Pelican Twists are made for children. They're made as a school children's pen, and they're twisted, as the name would imply, and they are very girthy. They're made for little hands. They are easy to grab and hold in a fist. So yes, that's my Galen leather wooden pen and brush stand holder. They call it Tool Comb, so Toolcomb, one word. And they still sell it. I checked. And let's see, pen you wish existed or a grail pen? That's a fun question, and I know exactly how to answer that. A pen I wish existed is this pen, but with flat ends. I'm moving away from cigar-shaped pens. I'm not really attracted to the rounded ends. They just don't appeal to me aesthetically. Yet this is one of my most favorite pens. It's up there, very close to my Franklin Christoph Model 45 in that gray material I showed you earlier. The one thing I don't like about this pen is the end caps are round. So if Platinum made a 3776 or some other model in the celluloid in the tortoise colorway, I would be all over it. I would be in there in line to snap it up. I love the feel of celluloid, the warmth in my hand, the writing experience. This is a fantastic nib. I had it tuned and turned into a stub by Jack Hernandez. And yeah, he did a great job. It's a lovely stub nib. It's a favorite pen of mine, up there in my top 3. But it would be even better if it had flat caps, flat ends. So that's my grail pen, or pen you wish existed, is this, but flatter. And finally, fountain pen journey reflections and what's next. 2024 was a bit of a rough year. So was 2023 for me, in that I lost my passion for fountain pens. I wasn't using them except in my some lines a day journal. So once a day for maybe 10-15 minutes maximum. And I lost the passion, I lost the excitement. So to have been able to find that again late in 2024 and in December was absolutely a gift. To get that back, that excitement over my collection, to go through my pen records book or my ink records book and look at what I have, to go through a pen case and admire the pretty, you know, to see pens that are inked and that I'm writing with daily in my pen block. That makes me really happy. Yeah. So I've come back to the love of pens. That's what's happened in 2024. I'm not letting you out again, puppy. The last time you went out, you just made me stand there while you sniffed around the yard. So you can stay in for a few minutes. So what is next? For 2025, I want to continue enjoying what I have and slowly pare down what I don't love, what I don't need, what I don't use. So I have a pen up for sale. I may put other pens up for sale. I might gift a few pens to people who are newer in the hobby and looking to start out. I'll get into swaps with people. I'll do whatever I can to pare down my collection to the point where it's more curated to things that I truly love. That's what I want to do, is have a more curated collection. Less avoidance. I want to not have months away from my pens like I did in 2024. And one of the big steps for me for doing that is I brought my journals and my pen block down to the kitchen. We live in a split level house, and our dogs are not allowed upstairs where the office is and where the master bedroom is, because they are English Mastiffs. And as they age, their hips start to go, their knees start to go, they start to get arthritis. So we have an 8-year-old and an 8-month-old English Mastiff, and the 8-year-old is struggling with stairs. So we made the decision when we first got her not to let her upstairs. So we have baby gated the top floor off. The dogs cannot go upstairs. I was feeling bad about spending time in the office writing. Even just 10 or 15 minutes a night was away from the dogs, and that wasn't fair on them, and it didn't seem right to me. So by bringing my journals and my pens down to the kitchen table and using them there, I feel like I'm more part of the family and part of the household while I'm doing my writing, while I'm writing in my journal, while I'm playing with ink explorations, whatever. So that has been a big change that I'm going to bring forward into 2025, is my journals are going to be here more. Not all the time, but more. And I think that will be good for me, and I think that will be good for the dogs. So you heard the dog drinking, you heard the dog ringing the bell to go outside. I will post a photo of the dogs at the end of this video, so you can see why I now write in the kitchen. So thank you, Katie, from Katie's Fountain Pen Awakening. I enjoyed seeing your end of year pen tag entries, and I hope to see other people take part in this pen tag. So thank you very much for sticking with me and listening to me babble about pens. I hope you got some pens cleaned or something useful done while I was rambling on. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.